Rising. Grand Rising, sis. Thank you for joining. Okay, we're going to give it a few just for the notification to go out. And then I will get started. Turn my music down. So while we wait, and if you catch this on the replay, just put hashtag replay. Grand Rising, Great Awakening. I'm Phoenix Love of a Healer's Haven, Holistic Health and Wellness Solutions, and I welcome you to Morning Chat for the Soul. I work with purpose-driven leaders to provide holistic healing solutions to help you achieve your wellness goals as well as work-life balance. I am the helper to the healer and the healer to the helper. I just want to mention, while we wait for a few more folks to join, that tomorrow evening at 8:30 we will have our first Sunday Soup for Leaders virtual meetup. So I mentioned a while back, maybe a few weeks ago in a live, that I'm pretty much going to combine Sunday Soup and our virtual meetup Leadership Tuesdays that we were doing. And now it's Sunday Soup for Leaders. It's going to be twice a month, the second and the fourth Sunday. So our first one will be this Sunday, the 24th, at 8:30 p.m. So I hope that, especially new members, welcome new members, I hope that you join, because this gives us an opportunity to get to know you and get to know each other, to speak about, your respective business, ministry, cause, and it just gives us an opportunity to really fellowship in a virtual space. Many of us are, we all come from different states and parts of the country. Some people are in other countries. So it's really a great opportunity for us to connect and get to know a little bit more about each other, because there's always an opportunity for collaboration or sharing of resources, and just sharing, motivation, encouragement, which we all need that. So that is, again, tomorrow evening at 8:30 p.m. right here in the group. However, you need to actually be on screen. You would need to access the link, which I'm going to post everything today, the Zoom link. So we're going to connect by Zoom video conferencing, and I will include that link in the event post that I'll do later today. So I hope that, many of you can join. I would love to get to know, as many of you as possible. I know it can't be everybody at one time. However, I will provide a link, and hopefully we can get a few of you on so that we can connect with each other. I will have a topic of discussion. There's so many things to talk about right now. We know that, in the news, and it's all, relative to holistic living and how we need to show up every day in life. So there's a lot of juicy topics to discuss. So I will be touching on some of the things that have been in the news, as well as, just bringing it back to how we can live holistically, how we can live on purpose, how we can always improve ourselves from a mind, body, soul, spirit perspective. So again, Sunday Soup for Leaders. I'm excited about it because I think, this format is going to really be beneficial, for us and for each of us and what we're trying to do here, in this world, making this world a better place to live in, and ourselves, making ourselves better. So anyway, I just wanted to say that while we were waiting for others to join. Good morning, Grand Rising. So I'm going to get started. If you catch this on the replay, just put hashtag replay. I know I got on a little bit late. Just had a couple things this morning. I've been up really early and doing stuff, and so I got a little delayed. But delay is never denial. So the topic today is about our words, because this whole week the meditative focus have been on the throat chakra, and this is our chakra that really connects to speaking our truth, communication, creative expression. And if it's blocked or underactive, then those particular areas will be compromised and you may struggle in those areas. It's also associated with our thyroid gland. So if you have some thyroid issues, it's highly possible that your throat chakra has been blocked or is closed. So it's not just from an emotional standpoint or mental health standpoint, it also can compromise your physical health, your physical well-being. So I just wanted to mention that. But this whole week, that's really, the post, and today will be the last day that I'll post, not in general, but today, as far as the focus of the throat chakra, today will be the last day that I really post anything that's specifically for the throat chakra. So I wanted to really talk about words, the words that we use, and really focusing on like 7 words or phrases that we really need to lose or not use as much, because it does, I want to say, cancel out, or it affects our ability to manifest. So, and I'm going to go through these really quickly because, again, I always try to keep the morning chat for your soul very brief. It's a Saturday morning. I know for many of you, like myself, it's an errand day and things to do or cleaning or whatever. So I'm always respectful of our time. But this is important, so I did want to share it. So the 7 words or phrases, I'll start with the word try. I know that was from the beginning of 2019. I said that's a word I am not going to use, and if I catch myself using it, I'll always correct it. And that's the beautiful thing about being able to say, okay, and being intentional that I don't want to use a certain word or phrase. You can always stop yourself and correct it. Okay, so the word try, that's number 1. And the reason why try is a word that you want to lose in 2019 and beyond is it means not doing. Whenever you say I'm trying or I try, you're not doing. Doing is doing. Trying is trying. Okay? So if you find yourself about to say I try or I'm trying, substitute it with something else. I'm making an effort. Or just say I'm doing. Because trying it puts you in a mindset of almost complacency, laziness, inept, and even insecurity. So we want to be mindful of that word try. It's a very, very powerful word, and not in a positive way. Okay? So you can always say I'm doing, I'm making an effort. And there may be some other, phrases that you can think of to replace it. But the best thing is just say, I'm doing, or don't say anything at all and just do it. Okay? So try or I'm trying. We want to lose that. Greetings. So number 2 is I need. And I know that's going to be a tricky one because sometimes we just, it just comes out. I need this, I need that, I need that. I would like, I desire, There's other phrases we can use, but the word need, and think about needy, need, needy, right? So what it says and what it says in our psyche, and again, the reason why I'm going over these 7 words or phrases because our subconscious mind is very powerful. And our subconscious mind is always the mind that's out front. We think we're, conscious because we're awake and we're speaking to each other, but from a physiological standpoint and how our brain works, our subconscious mind is really the one that's in control most of the time. This is why we struggle with bad habits. This is why we struggle with negative thinking or limiting beliefs, because all of those things, memories, is stored in our subconscious. So this helps us to reprogram our subconscious mind when we are mindful of the words that we use. This is why affirmations, scriptures, mantras, all these things that we do right here in this group and I work with my clients doing is very powerful because it's all about reprogramming the subconscious mind. Why? Because the subconscious has the ability to really control everything that we do. And we don't even realize it. We think we're in control, but it's that subconscious mind is very powerful. So when we start to be intentional and mindful of our words, especially when we talk about manifesting things in our lives, this is why we want to use the right language. Language is key. As a clinician and a therapist, one of the things that we always, is like, therapy 101, is that we help our clients have new language. We give them new language because, especially when you're working with children, most of the times they don't have the language to really comprehend and to communicate what they're feeling, right? So the younger they are, of course, we have to give them more language. But even with adults, sometimes we just don't know how to articulate how we're feeling, right? That's where many of you have seen, whether you're a clinician or not, you've seen that feelings chart. You've probably seen it on Pinterest and in doctors' offices, the feelings charts with all of the faces, which is probably where emojis came from. Ding, ding, ding. Emojis probably came out of that feelings chart because a lot of times we don't have the words or the language to explain how we're feeling. Okay? So I'm saying all of this to say that language is very powerful. So in the words that we use. So when you say I need, our subconscious or our mind is saying, oh, there's lack, right? We're beneath, or it's lower, or we are in a place of we really have a void in our life. So something needs to be filled right there. So let's look at another phrase or another word or another set of words instead of I need, like I desire or I would like or I really would like, instead of saying I need. Because I need communicates there's a lack, there's something that's I'm less than or I'm lower. It believe it or not, that's what it's telling our mind. And our mind is very interesting, especially the subconscious, is because it doesn't really know how to distinguish between what's real and what is being told to us. In other words, we're going to react based on those words and based on what we see. So this is why when people have trauma, they can't sometimes distinguish if it's a memory that's triggering how they're feeling or if it's actually the same thing or the situation is happening again. Because it doesn't know the difference. The body doesn't know the difference. And so this is what I'm saying. It's very, very powerful, our words, and then our senses, what we take in general. So we have to keep that in mind. That's why speaking the right words is so important. So I need, I try, we want to lose those. Should have. Should have is another phrase that we definitely want to find a replacement phrase to use. And should have means it's too late, it's hopeless, and it also can communicate a lack of confidence. So we want to keep in mind that when we're saying, oh, I should have done this, or I should have this, or I should have not done XYZ. We're putting ourselves in a state of mind and a state of being of it's too late. I feel hopeless that this is not going to happen. And there's a lack of confidence that something can be done or something will happen. So let's look at something else instead of should have. If something didn't occur or you don't like the way something went, just do something different. And sometimes it's just worth not saying anything at all. That's also good. Because, again, if you're going to say a message that's going to have negative connotations, then you're already putting yourself in a state of being of, this is not something that's for me. And whenever we're trying to manifest something, whenever we have goals, that's the last state of being you want to be in. You always want to be in a positive state of being, especially when you're saying, I want to achieve this goal, or I have something that I need to accomplish. I have something that I want to accomplish, need. Okay? And some are going to be a lot trickier than others because we're so used to using those words or those phrases, right? But there's always a replacement. So I need, try, or I am trying, and I should have. Those are the three so far. Can't. Can't is what it is. Can't, cannot, not good enough. That's the message that comes from that. Lack of knowledge. Hold on for 1 second, my battery. It's saying my battery's low. Okay, I hope I don't, if this cuts off, I'll try to get back on because it's saying my battery's low, but I don't have it. Hold on for a second, y'all. Okay, so when we look at can't, it also can mean lack of knowledge. It can mean that for some reason there's a level of, and I'm not saying ignorance is a bad thing because we all are ignorant about something we don't know, but a lack of knowledge or abilities, or it can also communicate incompetence. So when you say, I can't do something, and we say this, right? I can't. Again, look for something to replace that, or don't say anything at all. Because can't is already canceling out any possibilities of you being able to move forward or achieve something. As soon as you say, I can't do something, even if you, in your heart, you feel that way, say you can anyway. See, we have to program ourselves or program our mind to believe that whatever it is that we want to achieve, whatever it is that we want to do, that we can do it. And the more that we say the negative, phrase of that, or the negative perspective of that, and we'll start to believe that. Again, our body doesn't know any different. Whatever we're telling it, our body, and remember, our brain is a part of our body. Our brain is an organic part of this whole being, and this skin and this meat and these muscles and everything that we live in. It's a part of our physical being, right? So whatever we're telling it, that's what it's going to believe in. So this is why this is so important. Find another phrase or don't say anything at all. I'm going to keep saying that. So can't, lose it as much as possible. As soon as you find yourself even thinking it or about to say it, or even if you say it, just stop yourself and replace it. I can do it, or don't say anything at all. The next one is sorry. And this one we hear all the time. We say it, other people say it. I know I've said it many, many times. But I've made a commitment to myself to not use that word. Okay? And if you have to say, okay, I apologize, and then replace it with something positive, that's fine. But something about the word sorry or I'm sorry, it says don't measure up. This is the message. Don't measure up. This is a strong one. Loser. People pleaser. Lower than. giving away your power, and weak. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to repeat that because those are some really, really heavy hitters that we don't think about, that when we say sorry, or we're feeling sorry for ourselves, or we are communicating to someone else, sorry, I'm sorry, and you're always saying I'm sorry. And be mindful. If you hear yourself saying I'm sorry a lot, then you really have to think about what's really going on here. What's the core of that? So again, don't measure up, loser, people pleaser, lower than, giving away your power, every time you say sorry, weak. These are the messages. These are the messages, not necessarily for other people, but it is also teaching other people how to treat you. So we got to keep that in mind too. But this is the message you're giving yourself. So if you're constantly saying sorry, this is what you're telling yourself every time. So there's nothing wrong with apologizing if if something happened, you did something to someone. There's nothing wrong saying I apologize, and then, but always couple it with something positive, with a positive statement. So that's the way to deal with that. I don't have. So before I said should have, I don't have. I don't have says what? Lack, poor, degenerative, unworthy. I don't have. So instead of saying I don't have, just don't say anything at all. I am unable to at this time. I may not have the resources at this time. And I think the key is at this time, if you need to say something like that. Okay? Because again, it's rephrasing, it's reframing. We have to be mindful of every single word that comes out of our mouth. Because once you put it out in the universe, it's going to come right back to you as reality. So if you keep saying, I don't have XYZ, I don't have enough, I don't have money, this is exactly what you're telling yourself, and you're going to perpetuate and basically create more of that in your life with any of these. The last one, speaking of money, is I'm broke. And you listen, or I can't afford. And many of us all have been guilty of saying this at one time or one point in our life. I'm broke, I don't have. It's all in the same family. And what it says, I'm broke, says there's a deficit, there's a deficiency, oh, I'm deficient. It's a poverty mindset. It comes out of a poverty mindset. Less than, depleted, struggle. And it creates more of that. So, I mean, even recently, my son, he's working, he's a college student, and when we was in college, you're young, what came out your mouth? I'm broke, right? And I told him I had to help him with that. Like, don't say you're broke, okay? You're a college student, you're making your way. That's a way to say it. But never say you're broke, because you're not broke, okay? See, rich and wealthy, yes, we all want wealth as far as monetary, and we all, doing what we need to do to be on that path and leave a legacy. However, when you communicate, I'm broke, your mind, your brain is not thinking, oh, it is just talking about money. See, that's the piece. That's not what's being communicated. It's really going to attach itself to how you see yourself in general. Deficit, poverty mindset, less than, depleted, struggle. So that's bigger and greater than just monetary or money. So this is what I'm saying. Every one of these phrases, I need, should have, try, can't, sorry, I don't have, I'm broke. It all comes from a place of lack. It all comes from a place of deficit or deficient, or too little, or less than, or less value. So this is why these phrases if you know, try your best, and this is nothing better than just, you know, practicing. Find, and maybe it's just writing down each phrase and then having some positive statements to replace it. So just try, you know, try that this week. You know, the best way to be able to replace any type of bad habit, or if you want to have positive statements to replace your negative statements, is to practice it. Write it down and practice it. So my message or devotion to wrap this up is be mindful of every single word that you speak out of your mouth. Our words have creative power. The way we strengthen our throat chakra is by saying positive affirmations. It's believing that you have the ability to create whatever you want in your world, whatever you want in your life, by speaking the right words, by speaking words of power. We call it in Kemetic Hekau. Okay? Words of power, words of strength, words of courage, words that will manifest exactly what you want in your life. Okay? So again, I'm not going to keep you long, but be mindful. Be mindful of every word that you speak. Because either your words will create more life and positivity and manifestations that you truly want to see in your life, or it will do the opposite. It'll create more of what you don't want. Words, either, what do they say? Life or death is in the power of the tongue. We know that's scripture. And it's true. It's true. So, everyone have a blessed one. If you are catching this on the replay, please, please, please put hashtag replay. If you have any questions or comments, just drop them in the comment section. I did mention, and I'll mention again, that on tomorrow evening at 8:30, we will have our Sunday Soup for Leaders, our virtual meetup. So I'm hoping that you can join us. I will post the actual event and the link in the group today. So I'm hoping to see some of you, especially some of the new members to the group. And thank you so much for joining Morning Chat for the Soul. Everyone have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace.